I think what we've seen with Farage over the past few weeks is actually just another example, isn't it, of how free speech has been stifled.
I think it's far more profound. To compare it to my situation, it's not really just. This is his bank account. This he's specifically because of his political opinions. And not only that, but Dame Alice Rose also was revealing details that broke the confidentiality of the NatWest client, Coots client. You mentioned that it's 38% owned by, or it is 38% owned by us, the taxpayer. So it's very concerning that... what I should say is they are accountable not just to the other clients, but to all of us taxpayers in this scenario. And if you don't have a bank account, you cannot work, you cannot live, you cannot function in this country or anywhere. It should alarm absolutely everyone. And another institution that has been, I think, disgraced is BBC. Only in May of this year, they launched BBC Verify, which was it was sort of a crusade against misinformation, disinformation, or what we normal people call lies and untruths. And I remember thinking at the time, aren't they? Isn't it their job to discern what's not true and what is true? Well, it seems that BBC Verify have a lot of work to do at home before they launch their crusade. They made
themselves a hostage to fortune, didn't they?
Exactly. Well, I should say fair play to Simon Jack, the BBC reporter. He's apologised for that, and journalists make mistakes. So
and look, he was dealing with the chief executive of a massive banking group. I can understand why he may have taken her word for it, but he shouldn't have, and that's the point. That's what journalism needs to be, and it's very interesting you bring up BBC Verify because they should have verified the facts. I think one thing we do need to discuss, though, is that what really needs to happen in a debate like this is the left and the right need to come together, and that's not happening often. And the level of debate in this country, and I've seen it myself over the past few days, is becoming really toxic. And we've seen another shocking example, Winston, which I know you wanted to talk about, of Novara Media's Aaron Bastani, a regular on this channel, even though he's on the hard left, let's be honest about it, but he's a nice guy, claiming that he's been physically attacked today for his views. And I think it is really important, isn't it, that we all speak up against this toxicity, regardless of where you are on the political spectrum.
Yeah, what happened to Bastani today is absolutely repugnant. As you mentioned, he's a contributor here at the GB News. He's the founder of Novara Media. He also came out in defence of Farage in this situation. So he is someone who is clearly principled. And I'm sure I join you in wishing him a full recovery. He's punched in the street by a stranger. It seems like it's pretty sure that it's because of this Bastani's political opinions. And if it happened to anyone at GB News or any other media group, it's very shocking for the whole group. So I would like to wish Bastani a speedy recovery, and also wishing well to everyone at Novara Media who must be completely shocked by this horrible incident.
Yeah, there are certain moments, I think, where it's really important the left and the right come together, and there was another moment when Novara Media was deplatformed by YouTube, and lots of folk on the right, including me, spoke up for their right to be back on that social media giant, and they did end up being there. But, of course, sometimes I do feel there's a lot of silence on the left when these issues affect folk on the right. That's what I'm going to say about it. But look, I wanted to talk to you briefly, actually, about this US country singer, Jason Aldean. Now, I love him, love his new track. It's about American patriotism, law and order, anti-wokeness. It soared in the charts. This is despite being cancelled by country music television, effectively for thought crimes in the music video. So have a little look at this.
Right out in a small town, see how far you make it down the road.
Now, Winston, I'm looking at that video. Clearly, it's a little bit political, but this has seen lots of calls for Jason to be cancelled in America. Why?
It's tempting to frame this as a cancel culture story, and indeed, he released the video Friday before last. It was dropped from rotation by CMT, Country Music Television, on Monday without an explanation or reason given why. But the hoo-ha around this story is the way that people are interpreting the video. I should say he's Streisanded up to the top of the charts, and I'm sure he's very happy about that. But he's been accused of racism. Apparently, the location where the music video was shot in 1927, there was a horrific lynching of a black boy, and they are accusing him of somehow endorsing that. That would be as ludicrous as there's an upcoming production at the Ford Theatre in Washington, D.C. I saw. It'd be like linking that production to the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. One article in CNN, there's an op-ed that links the video to the KKK, Charlottesville, January 6th, and a whole host of extreme events when that's nothing of the sort. In fact, in the video, there's montages of news footage of violent crime in America, which, according to the FBI, is on the rise. Since 2020, there's been a big spike in crime and violent crime. And the footage in the video shows rioting in Georgia, the state of Georgia, from January of this year, when 150 black-clad protesters attacked what has been dubbed Cop City, which is a training facility for police officers. One of the protesters, who was alleged to have shot at the state troopers, was then shot and killed, and Atlanta descended into violence, and that's the footage used. They ignore that, and I came back from America this morning, and it seems to me that there's two Americas. There's one America that sees this rise in crime, and also sees when the media ignores it, and there's another America that cannot help but see race and the original sin of America in absolutely everything, and it's that clear divide. It's kind of sad to see.
Well, it is, because if you call someone like Aldean racist, for what you've just explained clearly isn't, it absolutely devalues the term, doesn't it? But look, absolutely